So in this video, I'll be talking a little bit about how I think my ADD diagnosis and addiction to Adderall sort of had me lean on this idea sometimes that I am not enough. And I just thought it was interesting that this morning, with this video on my mind, my friend Mandy posted this post on Instagram, and just how we can be in these two categories of not being enough or being too much, and how well seated I am in that of I'm not enough, and this just kind of expands on that. Anyways, so I was told as a child that I was deficit. They said you are
deficit
in something specific, that I was
deficit
and by telling me that I was
deficit
I was told that the amount by which something, it doesn't matter about money. Deficit means is insufficiency, inadequacy, scantedness, shortcomings, not abundant, not adequate, not advantageous, not enough. I'm just going to read what I wrote. I'm doing this differently. I am both my problems and my solutions. I've been so stressed out lately. Pointing out mistakes and shortcomings isn't advice, and it's rarely helpful. I'm doing the best I can, but I still think maybe not. Maybe I can do better if I work harder, if I sacrifice more and really cut my teeth down. This past Sunday was Mental Health Day for some reason. Are you enough? What does that even mean? Are you too much? Are you too little? If you're not enough, what are you? All the motivational material we are delivered is centered around never giving up, bootstraps, or whatever this is. Give it everything you got and show up. Sometimes people do that and they still fail, but there's still help there. My last 8 videos haven't broken 1,000 views, and it's been almost a year of that underperformance. If I based my creative decisions on metrics like YouTube analytics, I'd stop this right now. I would not be enough. I do this for me, and I do it for you. It is for you. Yes, you. I don't need 999 more people to see this video for it to mean something to you. You're watching it, and you're important. 1 is enough. 0 probably is 2 in some way. I learned something while I make these, and production is more interesting than consumption in some ways. Ever since I was diagnosed with A.D.D. and told I had a learning disability, I believed that despite my best efforts, I wasn't good enough. Even if I believed I was, I convinced myself that was a delusion, because the doctors who knew better than me told me I wasn't. I've been trying to appease my parents that I'm enough. And by parents, I mean society at large, my clients, my friends, relatives, and those doctors who told me that I needed Adderall to be better in school. But also my actual parents. I want them to be proud of me, and not for something I do, but for who I am and who I remain to be as I show up each day in my life. Nobody goes to an introductory appointment at a psychiatrist's office as a child and leaves thinking they're okay. They're often told they're broken and they can be fixed through medication. There are exceptions, of course, and this is a generalization, but it's my experience, so it's all I can really know. I thought I was an okay kid prior to visiting these psychiatrists. I left their office ashamed of who I was and wanting to please my parents, the teachers, and the old wrinkly man who was writing amphetamine scripts for a 7-year-old. Are all of these endeavors I take on just to make my metaphoric, imaginary, and real parents proud of me? I don't know. This isn't therapy. They tell me in small ways that I'm not enough sometimes, through client interaction, through social media, advertisements, and things like that, all kinds of things telling me that I could be more. I ask myself if I really have ADD, or if I'm just forever a recovering amphetamine addict. Side effects include ADD-like symptoms. Here's a really fucked up thing though. When I took Adderall, I really felt like I was enough. But maybe I think I was too much, and this metric is abstract, but you know what I'm talking about. There are a lot of metrics to not be enough on. There's money and health and these things like that. But this is an encompassing enoughness that I'm referencing. It's hard to pin, and I don't know. I want to not feel I am enough. I want to be enough at the same time. People who love me tell me I am simply enough because I'm here, and I am enough to them. And I'm grateful for this, but why are my standards for myself so high? Is this a pattern that never ends until I stop caring about it? Sometimes faith isn't the same as a cooked pot of rice, but I want to believe that it is. There are things that can be measured. There are things that can't really be measured but can be felt, assumed, or intuited. When I can't seem to get anything done, I struggle to pay attention, and I cannot resist distraction. My eternal denial appears and asks, maybe they were all right, and I shouldn't be a contrarian about it. And you're a natural man in an unnatural world who needs to take something unnatural just to interact with it. It's grandiose platitudes, and I dismiss them. Conquering the A.D.D. diagnosis and subsequent amphetamine addiction was a mental hurdle of moving beyond, and it isn't like climbing a mountaintop and descending afterwards, or solving a puzzle and marveling in its completion. It's a conveyor belt that is just pummeling toward you with mountains and puzzles that get bigger and more complicated as they come and go, and some fall to the floor unfinished, and then they are hidden from view in the view of other newer puzzles and mountains. It's different. It's not something you can call done, as it is a perpetual effort, which is what I imagine a lot of the talk is in places like AA meetings and other recovery environments. But I ask myself if I'm actually better off of Adderall. I think so. I think this is a better choice. I can't take a peek into alternate universes. I only know this one. I wonder if people microdose Adderall. I can't do that, though. I can't put another dime in the pharmaceutical machine that makes money on my faults, and I must learn to deal with these faults. I can never return to the island of the lotus eaters and day traders and video editors. What if I'm not even faulted in the way they say I am? And what if the disorder itself is just a seed they planted in my subconscious mind as a child, that I had a difficulty paying attention and I believed them? What if the doubt that I had toward myself watered the seed, and the condescending public teachers I interacted with pruned it and shaped it into a person with a self-consciousness that was debilitating, all in a ruse to sell me this juice, make a better drone for the queen? But there's a reality to it where I do need to be a better worker sometimes. Is it worth the sacrifice of my body and spirit? Of course not, but it's a complicated issue. I could always be better, but maybe I'm enough already. There's no checkpoint where I can say I'm enough and breathe a sigh of relief. I've already made this point, but it's overwhelming sometimes. There's no certificate of enough. Enough with this already. Enough already. Already enough already. Already enough already enough. Adderall has made me unquestionable. But I felt like I was enough on Adderall. To a fault. Even if it was a delusion, I was able to operate on the assumption that even if I was a skittering mess, I was enough, and I was more than enough. It's easier to just take drugs, isn't it? But the easier you make it, the harder you make it not to. I was pumped full of dopamine and serotonin and confidence in every choice I made. It was under control, it seemed, but it was a delusion that fell apart without the contribution of the amphetamine every day. Now everything is in a natural flow of a river, and the water's up, droughts, water down, rocks, rapids, branches falling down, insect hatches coming and going, trout rise and fall. I want to go fishing. I want to fish all the time because the rules are simple and it doesn't even matter if you catch a fish. You just get to be somewhere and the objective is being present. Then in the river that is society and civilization, we're entrenched again with different things and obstacles, and you're stacked up against the world and you're being measured by the metrics of a bank account, a credit score, likes, comments, invitations, lack thereof. It's up to you to determine if you're enough to yourself. It's up to you to say it, to believe it, to consume that determination. I wish I could still be as convincing and believable toward my self-generated declaration that I am enough, but I have a desperate desire for society to reinforce me with enough money and praise and other things like this. It's hard to do when I've gone out there as a worker, independent, and failed so many times. I failed as a dishwasher, dozens of unfinished projects, and I'll be amazed if this video is actually published and not collecting dust in my hard drive. I just keep trying and doubting myself that it's not good enough. Don't share the video. It's not good enough. It's weird. Thinking all the self-help stuff that says to get up 11 times after falling your 10, whatever, the righteous get up, the wicked stumble, this kind of thing. It's taking longer than I expected, but I'd like to feel that I'm always going upwind, up current toward what I've imagined my success is, and that I have a tension disorder to overcome. And after some grand rapid or something, I could relax and develop my spirit a little more, be a more relaxed person. I can't really get into the specifics right now, but the idea that there's a finish line and at that finish line is a relaxation, but I think the reality is that I'm always at the finish line and I'll never cross it either. But it's about getting better at that persistence. That is being enough. But I find myself still asking for more of something often, and I don't know how this relates to ADD, or if it relates to ADD, and I'm going off topic, which is related to ADD, but the opportunity to experience humanity is enough to fill my heart with gratitude, and it's the mind that wants and the mind that desires, and that is the source of all suffering. And I know that whether or not I am enough, or whether or not I believe I am or say I am, shouldn't be my guiding force. And that I'm here, I'm okay, and I know that I'm enough. For now. And probably always will be enough. And that the belief of being enough is really crucial to that fulfillment. Anyways, let me know in the comments if you're enough, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button. I love you guys.